podcast.
So we open up with these ill kicks.
That's some
They're
nice
like
kicks.
teal and pink, man. I saved those. When I bought those, I was like, I'm gonna wear these to PAX.
Where are we headed right now? Were we in Alston or something?
We are going through. So PAX is at Boston Seaport Convention Center. So we're just in this right at Logan. Actually, Logan's like 100 feet over. We're in an Uber.
We're talking about kicks, Kevin. There they are.
I went back to them. Nice. I wanted to see the lights in the tunnel on them. So this is, I think, like a high voltage. Dude, they're still expanding like crazy in the Seaport, Boston, South Boston area. It's nuts. It's like a whole different place. But every PAX you go, it's like, oh, it's a new Boston around it. So I was just getting some
Boston
footage outside.
And Portland have that in common. Like I gotta say, Boston and Portland definitely have that in common.
Yeah, a lot of places are just rapid development. Look at these people looking at us. All right, here we pulling up. That's PAX, even though they're like
that site.
Advertising.
Man.
Oh,
see, even that's new from the last time. Our Uber drivers' left windows were not clean. There's some cop on the PAX thing instead of like some cool PAX thing, but okay, the billboard. So we're pulling up. Yeah, they do.
Building.
It was just as soon as I put the camera on it, it changed to a police officer picture. Yeah, the building's really nice.
It had an M2 SSD advertisement on it.
Yeah. So this is the front. They like swab you down and make you strip. No, just kidding. It's actually pretty easy. You just walk in, show them your vaccination proof, and you get. This year they did wristbands. So these cool neon wristband to show you that that's your vaccine proof, and then you still did the lanyard to show that you had tickets. Yeah. It unfortunately affected our filming of our interviews because we all had to wear masks. But
that's cool. Those are those right there. Those are the vents for the tunnels, like the big dig. That's them.
All right, we're inside PAX.
Nice. So is there any cosplayers or whatnot who came out?
Infinite. Dude, that whole thing is a giant screen. It's insane. It's got to be like a 100-foot wide screen.
Yeah.
And that changes.
I couldn't get a picture of it in one shot.
It's insane. So this is just the front entry. You grab your badge there. Then there's instantly merch wall. Each PAX, they went. We try to go to PAX every year.
What is this building that this is in here? It was a beautiful building.
The Boston Convention Center. It's pretty new. Check it out. Now you're inside. It's like a giant airplane hangar, just full with gamers and cool developers.
You get a good view of everything before you go down the escalator. Yeah. You got to remember it all. You got to remember where you saw.
We actually cool. TikToked this moment, and it's our highest watched TikTok ever for Space Debris podcast. So yeah, dude, Cursed Golf. The new Ninja Turtles game was up on the poster up there. That's cool. There's some people's feet. Yo, I'm like Discord. I'm like, dude, they're gonna love it. We do our podcast on Discord. They're gonna be so stoked to talk to me. They didn't want to talk to me.
Were they like 1,000 people use their service for podcast?
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask them about podcasts because I don't know how many people do, but I talked to one dude, and then you realize check out, this is really nice art, actually. Beautiful art they had on display. But, so I talked to the Discord dude, and he was like this, like cool dude. He's like, yo, man, I don't know, Discord, I'm just running the line here, man. And then he was like, I can try to talk to somebody and see if, you can talk to someone higher up. And then I realized, this is pointless. Why am I doing this?
And then they Intel right there. They're just sitting there with $20,000 gaming PCs, just chilling there. It's like 8 of them.
They were live streaming that build.
Oh, that's sick.
Oh,
I love
and
all
that's
that
cool.
art.
Man. Everybody goes all balls to the wall. All right, here's our first VR game. And sort of the aim of this footage, this little Podumentary documentary thing, I wanted to show the VR. Every year that we've been going, since we got into VR, we've gone every year. So that was like 2016. And our main goal every year was like, this is the cutting edge of games and gaming, technology. So of course there's going to be a VR there. There's usually not a lot. The first year we went, I think there were 2 VR games, and they're like stuffed away in a corner. Except for I think the military was usually there, and they had VR. They're like, yeah, get in a headset and see what it's like running into the shit, man. So every year we'd kind of look, and we'd use it as a gauge to see where VR was at. And then right before COVID, which was the first year there was no PAX, Oculus at the time, had the whole intro was all like 20 booths, and you'd see people like playing. Like, it was such a beautiful, incredible setup. And like at that point, 2019, we were like, VR did it, like blowing up. It didn't do that much. So this is the first booth we saw, and it was Pin City. It's a VR bowling game by Studio 217. But here you go. Here's another.
I would love to see a real high quality bowling game. There's been many bowling games come out for VR, but I haven't seen any that a good multiplayer one that the physics was right. Like the golfing game that we play, like Walkabout.
And
but
we
in
tried.
Bowling with multiplayer,
it looks pretty promising. This booth I filmed because they're actually an indie Boston-based dev. They're making this game. I think it's Barely Arms. Right? Oh, it's Rightfully Barry Arms. So it's kind of like a play on the right to bear arms, but you have bare arms. The developer's Daylight Basement. They're based in Boston. I thought it was really cool. I did want to talk to them, but didn't really have the time to, so I just got some footage. All right, this is our first footage of the Arcade Legend booth. This is from LAI Studios.
Nice giveaway they got right there.
LAI Games.
Did you get a shirt?
I did not. So yeah, they were down to like only extra small and small, and I didn't want to just be like, hey man, you got a shirt for me? This year, a lot of the devs that we spoke with said PAX gave them very small numbers of what to expect. In turn, they're like, oh, how much X should we bring? How much, merch? Or every booth was sold out. All their marketing stuff was mostly gone. PAX undercut. This was a sold out day. This footage was on the Saturday. Everyone we spoke to was like, we're blown away. It was wall to wall people. It was pretty insane. That's Helen, I believe, there helping somebody.
That's a nice display they got there, though.
Oh, beautiful. And it's so funny. Look at this guy. He's locked. He's so rigid. It's like you just put like a live spider on his face or something.
Yeah.
Like when you're putting VR on someone for the first time, they really do just kind of lock up, and they're like, what am I seeing? Like the brain.
Did that with when I went to PAX. I played PlayStation VR before it came out, and I remember putting that on for the first time. I was like this. I was like, I'm in a car. I'm driving down the highway. I'm shooting a gun out the window. Like, oh fuck.
Do you know what this is?
No, but it looks freaking cool. It looks kind of familiar though.
It's League of Legends right there.
That's League of Legends. That's Jinx.
Yeah.
That's Jinx, but the other two ain't. I don't think.
A furry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand furries really.
Caught a furry on film.
Baldur's Gate 3 was there. Damn.
Yeah,
dude, they've been like. I bought that game like a year and a half ago, and it's like. Jeez, man. We came up with a major update. There's a new zone. It's like the original, like Baldur's Gate 2 had like 1,000 zones. Well, look at that person walking on the roof.
So this is just footage of the bottom of the escalator. Thunderful had a nice setup there. They've got some cool games. I bought a game called Source of Madness, which is kind of older, but it's really good, and I saw it there. There's one game I fell in love with that the demo's out on Steam. I show a little bit of the gameplay on here. I'll talk about it when we get there. But we're basically just going to let this play through at this point. Fake abs.
Bricktails.
Yeah, I've never heard
Okay.
of Bricktails. Lego Bricktails.
Wired Productions. I had them on my VR list because they make a game called Tin Hearts. Shout out to Wired Productions because we do like Tin Hearts VR. This is me. This was right after I was like, yeah, I'm not going to talk to anybody at Discord about podcast stupid shit. So I took a picture holding
That
our
is
sticker.
pretty
Use
cool.
your service.
Nice.
Exactly. We're
Tiny
your
build.
customers. Yeah, they had a whole real carnival. Tiny build carnival.
Oh,
They got a claw machine. They got whack-a-mole. They had like the
what
strongest
is it they
man.
made?
Punch
I
Club
played
2.
their game before.
They make Punch Club. A few other games. Goofy games. Yeah, there's somebody
I
punching.
like that. I love that thing. You punch it, it measures.
Yeah, they made a Punch Club version of that. Pretty ingenious. World's biggest spider. What is that? Spider Heck. So that was a really popular booth. Tiny build. Oh, Hello Neighbor. Nick is one of their big games.
They made VR Furball. You know that game that's kind of like Angry Birds?
Tiny build? They must have just bought it. I used to message with the dev for VR Furballs. It was like a solo
did
dev. He did it for like 3 years. Tiny build must have just picked it up, published it.
Oh, maybe.
This game looked cool. Ramen, like a play on ramen, Rawmen. Ghostwire.
A lot of cooking games like Overcooked and Cook Serve Delicious.
The Devolver digital booth. Look, there's a Trek to Yumi.
Yeah, I see it on the right there.
Oh, yeah.
One of the games everybody was psyched about was Cult of the Lamb. But are you ready for this? Want to see the Devolver merch I got?
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yes.
The Dunkin' Donut.
Oh, is it trash though?
Nice.
Oh my god, I want that so bad.
Right?
I love things that look like other things. It's like my favorite shit.
You're not
how-
supposed to look like that.
How could I not get that?
I know someone who had a shirt that said like it was like Star Wars font, but it said Star Trek. But like with the Star
I've
Wars.
seen that. I've seen that.
Man.
My annual visit to the Dead Cells Castle, I was like obsessed. I remember the first year I went, or it was the second year I went, I think, and Dead Cells was there, and it was just a dude with a box. Just a dude with the box with some pins, and I was telling him, I love your game, it's so... And then the next year, he had this castle, and every year since, the castle seems to get bigger and bigger. Cool little shot of the plush. I wanted that statue, but it was sold out. Yeah, they did this cool thing. If you beat the queen, you get a free key. But I already have all this merch, except for that stupid hat. Check it out. There's some people playing the PC edition of Demio.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Still
This is
haven't
the
played that
Demio
yet.
booth?
but
Ready
it's
for
so
this?
Good.
Oh,
I know. I
you're
haven't been
missing
able to
out.
buy video games lately.
I hear you. We'll have to help you
Brandon,
out.
that sounds familiar.
That the Guild and Felicia Day live stream playing Demio, but it's the PC edition. So they were playing that in the background while these people were playing VR version, while there was a group of kids playing 4-person PC edition Demio. It was a really cool booth. Okay, hey, check it out. Who's that character, Nick? Huntress?
The Huntress, yeah. That's really
Yeah.
cool. That's such a nice setup they got there.
They had a Huntress cosplay.
You think they just hired her as like to dress up as the?
We asked her a question. She said the Huntress is her favorite character. She's a Demio player. So this is the...
She did a good job.
Yeah, she was great. This is the PC section where you just sit down and play whatever games. This was the game that I love. It's not out yet. Blind Fate. Look at this gameplay. I'm a huge
Yeah, I've never even heard of
2D hack and slash guy, and you can get the demo on Steam right now. I did. It's so good. I replayed the demo like 3 times already. So now we get to the Davigo, and what it is, it's an asynchronous multiplayer. Somebody plays on
Yes.
the keyboard on the screen while somebody's in the VR in PC. This is the I Expect You to Die. Shell Games were there. I Expect You to Die 2 is coming out, so I just got a little bit of quick footage there. You know.
Yeah, I was going to say two's out or coming
Yeah,
out. I think it's already out.
I think it's been out. This game's kind of cool. Broken Spectre. It's an Oculus game only, but it doesn't use control. It uses hand tracking. They actually gave me a comic book. There was like this prologue or whatever comic book. So this was some footage we got of. There was this live art being done. This painting. It's one of those paintings where it's like an optical illusion where it looks like it's 3D. Unfortunately, at this point, it wasn't finished. This is us getting ready because we actually interviewed Jim Squires from Resolution Games about Demio. They are going to take over. I believe so.
Demio,
Blaston having huge tournament right now or competition with that. And
Blaston's getting big.
They've got so many games. Angry Birds, that Acrons or something. But the PC edition of Demio's blowing up. Everything that they're doing right now is blowing up.
New DLC coming out, or I don't know if it's a DLC.
Oh yeah,
or just
new expansion.
Curse of the Serpent Lord.
Yeah, and apparently, I think there's going to be a new character, a new class. I'm getting ready here. I've got my Teddy Fresh on. Now, yeah, we were masked, and I cannot tell you the audio, the sound at PAX is oppressive. We tried our best. You might notice. Hear what he says?
By the way, those are fantastic. Oh, thank you so much.
I love your shoes, by the way. Those are fantastic.
Oh, nice.
In my head, I was like, shoes were worth it. Shoes paid off. Goal accomplished. All right. So, Space Debris Podcast, James Digital Heart.
Jim Squires, Resolution Games.
Jim Squires. Okay, and you make Demio, but you actually make a lot of other games too, right?
Yeah, Resolution Games has been around since 2015 in VR. Really, when you go back that far, I think the only thing around when Resolution started was the Google Cardboard, and if you were lucky, you had an Oculus developer kit, right? Like, it was early days.
Yeah, that was like a year before the Vine.
You might be right on that. That sounds right to me. Yeah, so we've had a chance to kind of grow up alongside the VR industry, which has been really exciting for us. We have dabbled in a little bit of every genre you can imagine at this point in VR, which has been great fun.
So we love Angry Birds.
Oh, that's great to hear. Yeah, that's a fun one for
The
sure.
level editor is fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
It's such a clean, beautiful game.
Yeah, the team will be delighted to hear you think that. That's so nice.
Regarding that, is there any sequel talks or is it all Demio kind of?
I wish I had an answer on Angry Birds for you. I do not know if there is. If there are talks, I haven't heard them. I can certainly say that. But yeah, right now a lot of our focus is on Demio, especially today while we're here at PAX East.
Definitely.
Beyond that, though, we definitely have other things going on. I'm sure you're familiar with Blaston.
Blaston, yes. My co-host, Bill Dance, Nick, he just bought it for me. I'm really more of high speed, pistol whip,
Sure.
Beat Saber. I'm
Blaston sounds up your alley, then, if you ask me.
It is.
Okay.
I loved it. I just didn't get sucked in only because I'm so nervous about multiplayer.
Oh, fair enough.
You know?
Okay, and that is really, it's a multiplayer experience. Well, that's it. Resolution, especially nowadays, with things like Demio and Blaston, and we have Ultimax coming up. We want to create experiences that keep players connected in one way or another. And VR is so good for that. It's so immersive, such a neat way to connect with people remotely, especially, as I'm sure you can appreciate, the last 2 years. It's nice to have ways to really develop relationships with people and connect with the people you already know and love. Demio for me has been exactly that. I was very fortunate. I was a giant fan of Demio before I started working with Resolution. So it's kind of like wish fulfillment for me,
Wow,
you know?
yeah, that's
Oh, it was great. Yeah, so I was already playing with friends and family, and I mean, even to this day, my wife and I play Demio about 3 nights a week. So, yeah, we're huge fans. It's lovely to get to work on it.
We have a Quest and Index, so we can do this, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And now with the flat,
Yes, the PC edition.
PC
It's made it easier. Well, it's nice too because now my son joins us now that because we have a Quest and a Quest 2 in our home.
Wow.
And so now that we have PC edition, I mean, he's 17. He whoops our butts at it every time. I'm glad we have someone who can take the lead, who's sharp enough in a good strategy game. He grew up the generation of Fire Emblem, right? So he knows his way around a good tactical strategy game.
Well, so actually speaking to that, we've done podcasts in VR. I think Demio at this point is going to be our next game.
Very exciting.
Do you have any tips or like, I don't know, is there anything like, when we did Walkabout Mini Golf, we had to like reset our routers so the audio would be like as good as possible.
Fair.
Is there anything you could think of? Or
I mean, tips in terms of a technical recording, I do not know many. I'm sorry on that front. I will say that when we have done previews with folks and they've been recording them, making sure that, and keep in mind, because it's remote, it was a case of sometimes we'd have Google Hangouts and the game running, making sure that you only have the audio for one, because boy howdy is it a challenge if both are trying at the same time. But yeah, I mean, really, the only thing I would have are gameplay tips for you, and I don't know how much you need those. You may already be doing great.
All right, well, not me so much. Let's see, I've got a few specific questions.
Please.
For Demio gameplay, let's see. One Walkabout Mini Golf has started licensing.
Yes, I saw they have Labyrinth coming, which is very exciting.
Labyrinth.
I would love to play that course. Those guys are great, and they make a great game.
Has it come up at all? License.
I mean, any company, I suppose, would be interested if there's the right opportunity came along. You know, Lord knows we did work with Angry Birds at one point, and that's, you know, how this conversation started.
Yep.
I mean, that said, we don't really have anything specific to talk about around that front. Having said that, I'm sure many of our fans might have a wish list. We see it on Twitter a lot, the things that people wish Demio was also with.
It's
but
such a perfect game. You know, if I own IP and I want to develop a whole VR game, like, I would rather go to the Vest and be like, hey, you got everything, you got it. Here, could you just throw our assets in there? And
well, that's so nice.
But I know somebody told me there's 2 more coming.
Adventures, yeah. So since we launched last May. We're like a week or 2 out from the 1-year anniversary, which is super fun. We've put out 2 adventures since then, so there's 3 in total. We've tripled the game's content. Without charging more, right? It's not DLC. We just want to make sure people have new fun stuff to play.
Impressive. You even gave us the flat version for free.
Yes, we did. That's true. Yeah, the PC edition is free for anyone who owns it in VR, and vice versa. If you buy it on PC and you don't have a headset, 2-3 years from now, you pick up a headset. Good news. VR is already in your library. But yeah, we have 2 more adventures coming this year, and we are also working on Demio PvP, which we're very excited about.
Wow, so one-on-one.
Yeah, well, we haven't released any specific details around PvP yet. But I will say it's a whole different experience. It's a really interesting new twist on the game. And I am so excited to see how the audience reacts. I know how great it feels as a cooperative experience, but to be able to turn that on its head and then put all these players who know the game really well sort of right up against each other, very exciting for us.
What did you say the timeline for that might be?
It'll be this year. I don't have specifics. I personally, honestly don't have specifics. But yeah, we'll see it before the end of the year.
So one thing I'm curious about, because I keep saying flat version. Do you get that a lot? Does other people?
So it's funny you say that, and so I work in marketing. So trying to get the messaging right it's like, man, is that hard here? I hear pancake and I hear flat a lot.
I got away from pancake.
Fair enough, but
just go flat.
I've also heard 2D, which I appreciate the difference from VR, but also it's a 3D graphics, friends. It's not 2D. So yeah, it's been tough to find the right vernacular around that.
VR works.
Yeah, well, not even when you say PC VR, you still think like Steam, right? See,
damn it.
So that's a lot of the reason why this is straight up branded as Demio PC Edition. We want to make it as clear as possible. But yeah, it's luckily it's mostly the VR folks, the people who really know this industry. They're the ones who struggle to come up with a term for it because we're all like, Well, it's different because it's flat, right? It's like, at the end of the day, though, I honestly like to feel that we've just made a good game. It doesn't really matter what platform it's on.
Yeah.
And so when you start thinking about it like that, you don't worry about whether or not people are saying flat or pancake or PC. It's just, hey man, you can play this on Steam, you can play it in VR, have fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, last question.
Sure.
Which character would you be?
Oh,
For you.
so it's going to depend on who I'm playing with, if we're being honest. My personal favorite lately, I'll give you two answers for two good reasons. My personal favorite to play is the Assassin, because the backstab attack is like, oh no, it's so good. But also, I love that I can drop a sneak on myself, or I can stealth. I can open up those doors. I can walk out into the middle of madness, and nothing is going to happen to me. Like, that is so important. But if nobody else is willing to play the Bard, man, that support class is important. Right? I am happy to spend my game following and buffing everybody else, and then when they're really in trouble, dropping that Hurricane. Oh, it's great. It's great.
Well, let's do a little.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yes.
Love the game. Thank you for taking your time to speak with us. We really, really appreciate it.
Awesome. So nice meeting you. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Huge thing we learned. PC edition is what games are that are not VR on the PC. PC edition. No flat, no pancake, no 2D.
That's what he has to say. I'm still calling it flat.
So the
Kind of
politically
like how like when
correct version is the PC edition. The politically
it's just, the game's just going to be called VR. Like, remember when Nintendo 64 came out and all the games were just called blah 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 64. It's just going to be blah 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 VR, blah 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 PC.
Well, and that's what happens, right? Because so many games will add the VR. All right, let's look at the rest of this footage. We have one more interview. So with this interview coming up, we had an issue. So this is LAI Games. We talked about them earlier. We were able to coordinate, organize an interview with Tabor here. And the audio got so loud, it crashed my recording system just the last minute or so. So when we play the interview back, we'll have Kev and I at role playing, acting out the scene. Okay, so it's a little goofy, but it's a creative solution to a stupid mistake on the behalf of the iPod recording the audio in my pocket. So yeah, while we were waiting, I guess I just filmed here. So let me just jump through this.
Kevin's going to fill in for Ronaldo at the end.
Look at this little Pikachu or something. What is that?
Well, Pikachu.
Running through the ropes like it's not even there. Look.
Yeah, it didn't even touch it. Like combed his hair for him as he ran under it. Look at those arcades look so good though.
Yeah, the basketball one.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty decently far shot. That looks awesome.
The basketball one is the one I got when I tested it on Steam Next Fest, and it was good.
This kid's terrible at this game. Did you see him? What the fuck was he doing? He was like
He's just windmilling.
Yeah.
Well, he's playing the one where you just got to hit the lights out. So.
Yeah, he's not getting close enough, or something.
All right.
He was just like.
Yeah, he's a little berserker mode. So we're getting set up. We got the cool background behind us. Again, the noise is obnoxious, but that's PAX for you.
So this is Digital Heart saying, is this a VR or a flat game?
Yeah. And well, I gave him our business card. That's it. All right.
Okay.
Kev, it's, we probably got 4 or 5 minutes before you and I do this, and we'll act it out, and we'll call it a day. We'll call it a doc.
Okay. So, Space Debris Podcast. I'm James.
I'm Tabor.
Tabor?
Yes.
Oh, that's an awesome name.
Yeah, thank you.
So Arcade Legend. This is your first VR game?
It is. We've been making real-world arcade games for decades.
Yeah.
And this is our first consumer VR game.
So that kind of like, I looked at the VR, like anybody VR related here at PAX, and I played Arcade Legend during the Steam Next Fest. Cool. So I was like, I really like it. I like arcades. And then I looked up LAI, I'm like, what? This is like industrial. Like they literally make the arcade games.
Yeah.
So, how did you get the idea to say, all right, let's make our own game in VR based on what our business is, making games? Like, it's just really kind of heady, meta. I'm just curious.
Totally.
What led to that?
To be perfectly honest, I'm surprised we didn't think of it sooner. I guess VR's been just coming to the forefront of stuff over the last 5 years, really kind of getting mainstream momentum, and we've been focused on creating physical big arcade games for decades. And because of COVID, no arcade operator was buying games.
Yeah.
So we had to think of something to do to kind of, I guess, continue on. And it was kind of a scary time, but we decided to leverage what we were really good at, and we're all huge VR fans at LEI Games. Tons of us play our VR, and so we decided to take all of we've got 3D models of the games that we've already, we've had to make them in real life.
That's kind of what it seemed.
We just translated them to VR. Yeah,
piecing it together, I was like, did they? What? Like, I think it might be the first of its kind. To be honest with you,
it is.
So it's part. Like kind of a building business management simulator, right? Because so as far as when I did the Next Fest, I got my first arcade. I think I had 2 total, and then so you get to clean up, you design your own arcade. But this is actually what 8 months ago or so. This the next.
Oh, I think it was actually. Can you believe it? It was coming up on almost a year ago.
Wow.
Yeah, time flies. Time flies.
Weird.
It has been really weird. Yeah.
So I noticed. What I've seen here looks already way above what I played in the past. But then to finish, so you build and you arrange your own games. You unlock new models based off of how much money you're bringing in, right?
Yeah. So the way the economy works in the game, playing arcade games is awesome in its own right. It's a lot of fun, and that's what we're doing in the demo. But there's a whole builder component. The management of an arcade can be so much fun, and simulator games are so popular in VR and they're rewarding. So we thought combining both of those, and it's the storyline is that you've inherited a rundown old arcade and you've got to build it back up so you can customize and grow your own arcade. But these are all playable games that are real life games, and we've actually got an agreement in place with another major arcade manufacturer to bring some of their games in.
That was one of my questions.
Yeah, so it's really exciting. Yeah.
So we're going to see like real life games, like arcade games that we would see maybe in here.
There's going to be some generic kind of no-name brand games just to because a lot of activities that are fun to do in VR, we're going to do that. But we're really focused on licensed games, things that people recognize and play in the real world. That's a big focus for us.
Cool. Yeah, it's actually really great because like Cheryl loves building management simulation. Yeah. I love playing arcades.
Yeah.
So she can take over, run the business.
It's a great duo game for everybody. You guys can manage each part of it.
Yeah, so it's actually a really, really, really great game. But all right, cool. So basically, you answered most of my questions without even me asking them.
Cool.
Licensed content's coming.
Yep.
So really important. Is there any release date? Is it out? It's not up.
It's not out yet.
I would have.
No. We are going to be.
So this is where the audio died. This is where I've hired professional voiceover audio artist Kevin to play the role of VR developer LAI Games Tabor.
Yeah, I'm Tabor. That dude's cool.
Tabor, he really was awesome. Such a cool guy. Just for taking the time to talk with us, for our stupid little podcast, same to Jim, Resolution, LAI. It was so awesome of them to do this. So just in general, and I told him, we're going to have fun with it, whatever. Just to take the time and give us a shot, give us a few minutes. And we really did learn some interesting stuff about both titles. We love Demio. Genuinely looking forward. I can't wait to get Arcade Legend. And we're going to be doing podcasts from both games eventually. So thanks to everyone. Yeah. Thanks to you guys. What's up, Nick?
All the marketing people did a really fantastic job answering the questions that you had for them. And some of them was
great.
pretty good questions, you know. Yeah.
Hey, we took it serious. Okay, so you ready here, Kev? Go ahead, pick it up from there.
We're going to be launching on Steam in the official Quest store, not the App Labs release, which is a huge deal for us. We're very proud of it. By the end of the year, so that's a 2022 release date before the end of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're looking at December 24.
Definitely not. Earlier than that. We don't want to compete with the holiday rush on Christmas.
Oh, definitely.
That's way too much for a first-time VR game. But yeah, way before that.
Yeah, more time. You know, VR is just going to blow up, and you're going to get more customers.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, so we expect to see Arcade Legend coming out before the end of the year. Will there be multiplayer?
Will be multiplayer. This demo is local. The full release will be multiplayer. Arcades are a big social experience in real life. We wanted to recreate that in the game. We like all of us hands. We like multiplayer experiences and hanging out with, each other. So that's what we focus.
Cool. Awesome. Then we'll definitely do a podcast in it.
You could podcast inside the game. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we've done Walkabout Mini Golf. Demio's next.
I'm a huge fan of both of those games, by the way. Demio and Walkabout, shout out.
Yeah. And as soon as Labyrinth comes out, we'll be going back to Walkabout.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
You got to check out our pod. There's one episode that all takes place within Walkabout. Looks like we'll definitely have to do a podcast live in Arcade Legend.
Yes, awesome. Well, you are more than welcome to let me know when you're ready to do that, and we'll help you out.
So each game has leaderboards, right?
Yes. So there's local leaderboards. We're going to have global leaderboards so you can compete with everybody. The best players in the world, which will probably be some of us at LAI Games. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe not.
If there are leaderboards there, I'll be there.
Sweet.
It was nice meeting you.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
Found it out.
So it just ends here. I get a little shot of across the street of PAX. There's some footage of all the people.
All right.
Off to go riot. Oh, God. Yeah, that'd be cool, Kev. Dude, they should do that for marketing.
PAX was over?
Yep. 6 p.m. Expo hall doors shut, and it's a mass exodus. But everybody, it stays open. You can go to play little speeches or events they have at the side
panels,
rooms. But yeah, all the panels.
Those go
midnight. Yeah, midnight. But a lot of people go to after.
LAN parties and whatnot.
Turtles.
Also.
See that? Turtles? I'm psyched for that game. But yeah, no, they do games, they do cosplay meetups, they do everything you can think of gamers would want to do, they continue to do. Well, so that was it, it was fun filming there. I think, I've learned a lot about filming on scene, and I definitely want to do more. And I think we will. We'll definitely do PAX at the very least next year, so there's that. But anything we can think of in between. I was thinking about going up to Fun Spot Arcade in New Hampshire, the classic oldest arcade. Dude, there are already a couple of Fun Spot docks, and I think we could have some fun there. So maybe we'll do that. But I guess that's it. We'll call it a wrap on the very first Space Debris podcast, Podumentary. Peace.
Space Debris Podcast.